Okay. Second video of AWS Solution Architect series. Today, what we're going to discuss is we're going to discuss briefly the services linked to regions and availability zones. So, previous video briefly discussed about AWS region and then AWS availability zone, and then we discuss local zone, and then we discuss AWS edge locations, right? And this video, I'm going to just quickly discuss the services we're going to link with these services. Now we'll explain the services linked to these regions and availability zones, and then we'll explain how they are connected and how do they run with these availability zones, right? Okay, I've just got a quick PDF, so I'm just going to explain you the services we are going to discuss. So they are taken into a few different categories. So the first category we're going to discuss is computer services. Computer computer services which is provided by AWS, right? First one is EC2, that is the Elastic Compute Cloud, that is the computer instances that we can use. The second one is serverless computing, Lambda. Uh, the third one is Elastic Beanstalk. That is the platform as a service which developers can use to develop applications and other stuff. The third one is Elastic Container Service. That is the container service provided by AWS Cloud. And fourth one is EKS. That's called Elastic Kubernetes Services, right? And the fourth one is we're going to discuss is Fargate. That is the serverless container service. And the other one is light sail, which is a simplified virtual private space, which is providing like web services and other stuff. And the next one related to compute service is batch processing, uh, processing of batches. That's one of the computer service. And then we have going to discuss storage service, which are linked to these regions and available scenes. The first one is a simple storage service, S3 buckets, and then EBS, Elastic Block Store, which is hard disk for EC2 instances, and then EFS, Elastic File System, it's a networking file system, and then FSX, Windows, high performance file system for Windows computers. And then we're going to look into S3 Glacier, that is archive storage of S3 buckets. And then next one is a storage gateway. Storage gateway is hybrid storage tape devices and other stuff from your on premises back to Azure Cloud for the backup services. And then the last one, that is storage service we're going to discuss, is the backup service. That's a centralized backup for all the services which are available for backup in the AWS Cloud. And then we going into database services. The first one is RDS, relational database services, like SQL related databases, MySQL, SQL Server, and MariaDB, and all other stuff. Then the next one is a DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and then coming up with the data warehousing and other data manipulating databases, Redshift data warehousing, and Amazon Aurora high performance RDS, and then memory caching used for the programs, Elastic Cache, and then Document DB, and the last one, that service is Neptune, is a graph database, right? And then going into networking, VPC, virtual private cloud, how they related to regions and availability zones, and then cloud print, CDN, that is what we use for edge locations, and then Route 53, DNS service provided by AWS, and then API gateway, application program interface, application management, the gateway, and direct connect, dedicated network connection from on-premises to the Azure cloud, and then global accelerator service, which is improved latency for your programs. And then we're going to discuss about private link, private VPC access, that is services accessed in your VPC cloud without going through the internet for security. And then NAT gateway. NAT gateway is for your private subnets, which is not directly connected into internet. So NAT gateway will help you to outbound internet access. And then some of the services like global services, they're not actually regional. Some of them are regional, some of them are global. So security and identity and compliance, so IAM, identity and access management, and KMS, key management service, and then secrets manager, credential management service, Cognito, user authentication service, guard duty. Guard duty is what we use for threat detection in AWS Cloud, and WAF and Shield, web application firewall, and DDoS protection, and Amazon Mazy, data security and detection software. And then we come into management and governance. We're going to discuss. So they are like monitoring and logging, CloudWatch, monitoring software, CloudTrail, audit logging, config, resource tracking. So how do you configure services, system manager, ops management, trusted advisor, that will give you advices for best practices, auto scaling, dynamic scaling, and organizations multi-account management. And then we go to application integration and messaging services. That's also very important. Messaging services, messaging queues, SQS, simple queue service, and simple notification service, SNS, event bridge, event bus, and step function, workflow automation methods, MQ, manage message broker. And then we'll come into analytics and big data, real-time data streaming, Kinesis, EMR, Elastic MapReduce, Athena, serverless SQL querying, and then now we go to QuickSight, business intelligent analysis software, and Amazon Glue, ETL service. And then I will go to migration and transfer, that is DMS, database migration service, SMS, server migration service, data sync, data transfer acceleration service, Snow family physical data transfer, like if you have a very huge amount of data. So we got a mobile service and we send the data from on premises or somewhere to the cloud, use called Snow. Developer tools, we go code commit, Git repositories management, and code build, CI and CD build service, code deploy, automated deployment, code pipeline, CI and CD orchestration software. And then now we'll going to discuss about workspaces, virtual desktops, and then AppStream 2.0 streaming application, and WorkLink mobile application access, and then other key services we call RDS proxy, database connection pooling, outpost on premises to AWS. There is a hybrid ground station that's called satellite data, right? These services what I'm discussing. We get looking into these services and we'll check how these services are connected to AWS regions availability zones, and we are going to discuss these ones by three different categories. One is we're going to discuss if this service is a global, regional, or in availability zones, and how do they connect with these services? Because AWS Solution Architect exam, these are really important. You to know each service, how they interconnected with the different availability zones, regions, and global, because they always is a really important factor in resilience, right? Fault tolerance, right? High availability. These are very important in this cloud computing. So we just need to know how these services are becoming resilient, right? Fault tolerant, right? And highly available, right? How do they available? So these factors are really important. Most of questions are based on something sort of asking, let's say EC2, EC2 is EC2 in region availability zone or EC2 in global. You need to know to understand to design a better architecture in the solution, right? So I think these are the services we're going to discuss, and let's discuss in detail how they link to these regions, availability zones, and globally from my next video. Until then, thank you very much.